Welcome to day 2. We're going to read Isaiah chapter 2, and feel free to follow along. I'm reading from the NLT, or just listen to it. Faith comes by hearing, hearing by the word of God, and we'll go through it, read it completely, and then we'll go back and look about what, like Dr. Jackie Gray says, what does it mean for them, for the original hearers? What does it mean for us, and what does it mean for me personally? Isaiah chapter 2. This is a vision that Isaiah son of Amos saw concerning Judah and Jerusalem. In the last days, the mountain of the Lord's house will be the highest of all, the most important place on earth. It'll be raised above the other hills, and people from all over the world will stream there to worship. People from many nations will come and say, "Come, let us go up to the mountain of the Lord, to the house of Jacob's God. There he will teach us his ways, and we will walk in his paths." For the Lord's teaching will go out from Zion. His word will go out from Jerusalem. The Lord will mediate between nations and will settle international disputes. They will hammer their swords into plowshares and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation will no longer fight against nation, nor train for war anymore. Come, descendants of Jacob, let us walk in the light of the Lord, for the Lord has rejected his people, the descendants of Jacob, because they have filled their land with practices from the east and with sorcerers, as the Philistines do. They've made alliances with pagans. Israel is full of silver and gold. There is no end to its treasures. Their land is full of war horses. There is no end to its chariots. Their land is full of idols. The people worship things they have made with their own hands. Eesh. So now they will be humbled and all will be brought low. Do not forgive them. Crawl into caves in the rocks. Hide in the dust from the terror of the Lord and the glory of his majesty. Human pride will be brought down and human arrogance will be humbled. Only the Lord will be exalted on that day of judgment. For the Lord of heaven's armies has a day of reckoning. There will be a day of reckoning. That's not what it said. He will punish the proud and mighty and bring down everything that is exalted. He will cut down the tall cedars of Lebanon and all the mighty oaks of Bashan. He will level all the high mountains and all the lofty hills. He will break down every high tower and every fortified wall. He will destroy all the great trading ships and every magnificent vessel. Human pride will be humbled and human arrogance will be brought down. Only the Lord will be exalted on that day of judgment. Idols will completely disappear when the Lord rises to shake the earth. His enemies will crawl into holes in the ground. They will hide in caves in the rocks from the terror of the Lord and the glory of his majesty. On that day of judgment, they will abandon the gold and silver idols they made for themselves to worship. They will leave their gods to the rodents and bats, while they crawl away into caverns and hide among the jagged rocks and cliffs. They will try to escape the terror of the Lord and the glory of his majesty as he rises to shake the earth. Don't put your trust in mere humans. They are as foul as breath. What good are they? Okay, well, wow. What did this mean? It starts with the Lord's future reign, and so this is a picture that they would have clung on to as their homes were being decimated, as they were being invaded. And this is a message not only for them, but also for us. This is a prophetic vision even for us, for that great and terrible day. But it's saying in the last days, the mountain of the Lord's house will be the highest of all. There's going to be this streaming to worship for all nations, where God will broker international peace, where the Prince of Peace will truly come and reign on the earth. This is the day that we look forward to. But it's not just about this peace, because judgment is what causes us to know that we need saving. Judgment is what causes us to know that we need grace. We don't feel the need for grace unless we know that we are under judgment. And so then there's the warning of judgment. It starts with this beautiful picture of the weapons of war being hammered into things of peace, things that are made for harvesting, and a beautiful picture. But it says, if you look at your country, if you look at your land, you look at what you've done the very opposite. You've filled it with weapons, and you've filled it with things that you can defend yourself with, and you've filled it with treasures, and you've started worshipping things that your own hands have won for you. That does not sound that different to our world today. But the Lord promises that human arrogance will be brought down. He promises that he will have his way, and everything that we depend on, that he will do away with. Why? Because he hates us? No, because he wants us to know that he is the source of our peace, that he is the source of our strength, that we only find freedom when we find complete and utter dependence on him. So what it meant for them. He's just telling them what's what. He's reminding them of the future day because he's always about bringing hope, but he's telling them what's what and what's happening right now. What does it mean for us? Well, we can look forward to that future day as well. Let's read that again. They will hammer their swords into plowshares and their spears into pruning hooks. I wonder what we could say. Like they will hammer their missiles into food dishes. I don't know. Like feast dishes. Yeah, that sounds good to me. But these things that are meant for war are meant now for peace, that God can turn it all around. That actually he will take our human pride and he will bring it down. That pride will go before a fall. God turns his face against pride. We need to know that. And then personally, what about for us? Well, for me here, this verse right here, don't put your trust in me humans. They're as frail as breath. That tells me don't put my trust in myself. I'm as frail as breath. I know this about myself, but to put my trust in the Lord.